All right, guys, it's time for the new live letter 69 giggity for our patch 6.1 newfound adventure. This is part 1 of the live letter. Part 2 is not, they have not given us the date because they know once they give us the date that we know that's 2 weeks out from the patch. They're not ready to release the patch. We assume that that is going to be in mid-April. Based on kind of what they're saying here. You will get new MSQ. Remember, this is the end of what they're referring to as a whole, the Heidelin Zodiac Saga. So this will begin our new chapter, which will mean that it does come with a new dungeon, new MSQ, and all of that mess. We are also getting new side quests and a thing called Tataru's Grand Endeavor. We are also going to be getting new role quests. If you do them all, there will be additional story available for completing them all, so worth doing. And we are going to be getting our Arcasadara Beast Tribe. Moving forward in 6.2, not looking backward because we thought of them as Beast Tribes, but moving forward, given context, it's time to start calling them Tribal Quests. So all Tribal Quests added from 6.2 and beyond, that's going to be the name there to give them a little more respect because it's actually a derogatory term in game. We are also getting somehow further Hildebrand. He's back. Much requested, regularly asked for, especially at NA, and Omega Beyond the Rift. What I don't know is somewhere in here we're getting our Sorrows of Orlit equivalent. So is that Tataru or is that Omega? It makes sense that it'd be Omega. The other one is probably going to be some sort of side content that maybe that's more long-term supported. I don't really know. They're not going to tell us because they don't want to spoil anything. And we are also getting improvements to the Realm Reborn MSQ. We'll be talking about that at the end. Remember that the way a expansion rolls out is that you get 2 leveling trials and their extremes, and then a final trial, which extreme, this one's called Endsinger's Aria, will be released with the 0.1 patch. So for anybody that's been waiting for extreme trial, number 3, that will be dropped this patch. The Unreal trial this time around is Ultima's Bane because that's back. It took a break for 6.0 because of the amount of other content. And our Alliance raid series that will be supported over 0.1, 3, and 5 is here. 24 mans. These are a ton of fun to do when they first come out. This is Myths of the Realm. They showed us a screenshot. Looks awesome. Let's go fight the 12. We are getting our Ultimate Dragon Songs Reprise. In theory, they're saying they think they can get another Ultimate out this expansion, tentatively targeted for 6.3. We'll see. These are screenshots they showed us in the past, but this one looks new. Really excited about that. Great fights to watch. The world first progress of can take a lot longer. Job adjustments are something they moved to talking about in part 2s, but honestly, they now are waiting not even in the tentative patch notes, but the final patch notes. So they basically come out right before the patch goes live. PvP is getting refreshed. The Feast is going away. We are getting Crystalline Conflict, like this Overwatch tug-of-war type thing. And that will come with PvP action improvements and the new PvP reward system. They didn't go over it that much. It's kind of like a battle pass, but without kind of the FOMO element to it. So I think people will be really positive on it. We'll just have to see how that feels. Custom Deliveries is going to be in the Leveler Mansion there with Emeliance. I don't know if you'll be able to dress her up or not. And Ishgard housing is here. Remember, all wards are now lottery wards. All wards are lottery wards. So if you give up your house, it'll go into a lottery. Adventure plates are what they've been previously referring to as calling cards. These are customizable character portraits. You'll be able to assign them to gear sets and all of that. We don't have a screenshot yet. They're not ready to show us, but they should be something where you like collect backgrounds and stuff like that. It seems kind of like a MySpace page. Hopefully it feels less outdated than that. The Unending Codex is something that they're going to begin putting in game. It'll take them a while to get everything in it. It'll allow you to search it for things like characters and terms. Hopefully it'll at least be supported through 2.0, but it'll be a glossary of all of that. It'll be a way to kind of have all that lore stuff in your head there, which I think will be really, really great. In 6.18, we're getting data center travel. We'll go over that a lot more at the end here. And we are getting New Game Plus for 6.0. You can finally replay Endwalker. You'll also be getting some Rothgar hairstyles. I believe those are tied to faces, so you may need a Fantasia there. Just kind of brace yourself for that. And we're getting 5 more glamour plates. And you'll be able to use them anywhere that there's a moon. So anytime you're in a city of any kind and you change classes, it'll be able to handle that. Remember that your gathering classes kind of struggle because open world stuff. And then in 6.2, we're doubling the number from 400 in the chest to 800 items in the chest. We are also going to get the ability in an inn to use Dream Fitting to try out things on the store in-game. Yoshpi's already said, he said in the past he doesn't want to do stuff like this. He's saying here he didn't really want to do stuff like this. So we'll see how that kind of slippery slope begins, feeling that the store and the game blend together. And we're getting a new idle animation for parasols. Also on the market board, massive change. Check marks on things you've obtained, mounts, minions, etc. They're also getting their own tab, so you can just search directly for mounts. This will make it a lot easier to know what you have and don't have. The Mario board system is the single most outdated system that we also still regularly interact with as a community. And so I think that's a really big move forward. Absolutely awesome. During the halftime show, they showed us the 2017 30th anniversary light show, worth Googling. And then it's time to talk about what's changing with A Realm Reborn for people moving forward. We are now splitting the trust system into two parts, the avatar leveling system, which we will continue to refer to as trusts. And when you first get to a duty and it says, would you like to run this with other NPCs? And that is now going to be called the duty support system and will now be backwards compatible through 2.0. Remember that from 2.x through the beginning of 3.0 will be 6.2. The rest of Heavensward, all of it will be 6.3, and then Stormblood will slide its way into 6.4 and 5. These will allow you to run with members of the Adventurers Guild, not Scions or anything, and they will automatically be filled according to your role, and it will look very similar to a squadron screen, and you'll be able to kind of charge into combat with these kind of members of the Grand Companies, and go through that. This will only be for MSQ dungeons, so you will notice this does not have things like Temple of Karn and Aram Vale. It will not be the optional dungeons, only the main scenario dungeons. 8-player content is something they'd like to tackle in 7.0. But what about all the big things at the end? Well, don't worry. Cape Westwind is actually just going away. It's not a good representation of what Trials are. This is an improvement to the new player experience. Castrum Marindium is going to 4-player, and Praetorium is splitting into multiple parts because it's way too long. It's going to be the start through kind of our elevator scene, then it's going to be the Ultima weapon battle, and then the remaining talking part that's just talking is going to go to a solo quest for a total of two duties and then one custom thing that you do, very similar to the Cape Westwind experience. That will leave the main scenario roulette in place because those are longer than standard dungeons. It will just have the 2 Praetoriums and the 1 Castrum, and they will adjust the rewards to reflect the fact that it is now shorter. I don't know if cutscenes will be skippable or not. Data center travel. Remember that this is going to force you to stay on your data center, but otherwise will work largely like World Visit. Instead of being called a Wanderer, somebody that still has access to their free company chat and their cross-world link shells, you will be given the tag Traveler because communication can't jump across the data centers because of the way they work. So we will be able to jump around. Cross-world link shells will remain working the way they do now. You will, as of 6.2, you'll be able to join cross-world link shells on the other place. So if I'm an Aether player and I go over to Primal, I can join cross-world link shells. And then every time I go to Primal, they'll be waiting for me. But when I'm here, I will be marked as unavailable. You'll be able to travel from the character select screen. And then once you start that, it's just like if you transferred your character. There's no stopping it. And you're going to leave your house and your retainers behind. And then they'll be there if you want to go back using the exact same method. The Japanese data center, there were 32 worlds across 3 data centers. It caused a bottleneck at the login server. They're splitting across to 4, but this will roll out after data center visit. So when they add the Meteor data center, it's going to actually just improve things across the board. If you want to stay, you can stay. You get paid out for your house and the non-acquirable items. But if you don't want to stay, you can hop over and you can come back and visit if there's just like somebody that you run treasure maps with or whatever. So that'll be really nice. Crossworld link shells that are affected, it'll automatically duplicate them, keeping you there so that if you visit, you still have your crossworld link shells. And then when you hop across, they'll be waiting for you. Obviously, it'll make sure there's a leader in both. The existing leader will stay the same. It'll pick a leader for the other one, just at random. So that's a big win for us. Little Ladies Day is going on March 14th. They are looking for French and German translators. They have not told us the time of the next live letter because they know that means it's 2 weeks out from the patch. They're not ready to confirm that patch date. And that is everything you need to know about the 6.1 live letter. Nice to have an all short, all Japanese one in the morning again. Hadn't been that way in 11 months. So it's nice to be back to normal. Kinda.